This rule proposes that by dividing up a frame in 9 equal parts and placing a subject on the intersection of the line, we can create compositions that are more balanced and engaging. But is it really a rule, or more of a guideline? How far can we bend it? This week, I went to Lonsdale Street in Melbourne. I took photos that use the rule of thirds, photos that use variations of the rule, and a photo at the end that really bends the rule, but still within it. And I'll break them down one by one. The mural and the person with their dog are in the middle of the frame. There's a lot of negative space at the lower part of the frame, and the upper part looks cramped. If we crop in and move the person to be on the lower third line, the composition is more balanced. And that's the rule of thirds. As I was crossing the streets, I tried shooting from a hip. I like this photo because it has layers of people showing a busy weekend in the CBD. And these two subjects have their heads lined up with the top line of the grid. This person crossing the street is in all black, but with a light colored bag and hair. It matches the black background on the right and the building color on the left. And in this one, there's the person in orange that matches the orange pole and nets. Very satisfying colors. On the rule of thirds, in this first shot, they line up along the left line, while in the second one, they line up on the intersection, which is a stricter following of the rule. I actually like the first one more, perhaps because of that person in orange, though I also like that it shows the divider line on the street behind them, just a little touch of foreground. Okay, so with that comparison, we can kind of see that veering off a little bit from the rule can still result in a good photo. Let's see if we can bend it even more and interpret it differently. Okay, here's the first variation, or tweaked interpretation if you will. The subjects here are in the middle of the photo. They are not on the third line. However, the foreground here fills up the left side and the bottom side of the photo, leaving a frame of 4 boxes on the top right. And within that frame, the subjects are on the bottom left intersection. All that said, I don't think the rule of thirds entirely made the photo what it is. I really like the sense of depth. The shot of glass adds texture that contrasts with the brick walls. Moreover, the subjects themselves have contrasting colors. Here I just wanted to capture the beautiful sky. The concept here is similar to the previous photo. The darker part acts as a foreground, is on an angle and takes 2/3 to 1/3 of the photo. The building here is right on the middle of the photo, but within the well-lit part, it's on the bottom third. Well, more or less. We're bending the rules, remember? This under construction building has deep blue steel beams that caught my eye. After waiting a bit, a person decided to sit there, which is perfect. I think the composition is nicely divided. The subject is on the bottom third, the bus is sort of on the left third, with the car on the right third. This one more closely followed the rule, with the difference being placing secondary objects in sections but not on the lines. This laneway leads to a building that complements the sky colors, and I'm using this balcony and brick wall as foreground. In this one, the main subject is in the middle of the frame, and the complementary subjects surround it in thirds. The left foreground fills in the section, with the balcony encroaching to the center. The brick wall starts on the bottom right towards the center, and the top right is left as negative space. While waiting to cross, I wanted to capture this large crossing bridge between Melbourne Central and the Emporium Mall. I like the dramatic angle and reflections on the glass. Perhaps it would be better without these traffic lights. And yep, as you can see, the bridge takes about 2/3 of the right side. Not sure if that made a good photo though. While passing an alley, I came across this cool sign. It looks unique and the colors match up with the brick walls. The sign is not quite on the top right intersection, but it's close. Let's crop it in and compare. I think I like the original photo more. I think it's because of the angle of the wall. The sign looks more inward and more significant. Then a subject passed by with a high-vis jacket, which adds contrast. In this photo, they are in the right third of the frame. This one, they are right below the sign. I think the first one looks better because of the asymmetry. And that's what the rule of thirds encourages, asymmetry. I turned it to yet another alley and noticed these reflective buildings. This is one photo that doesn't quite use the rule of thirds. If you overlay the grid, you can sort of see some elements touch the lines. However, I didn't have that in mind when shooting it. The lighting and the angle were my main focus. I went up the stairs here to take photos of the streets through this barrier. This is an interesting one. Half of the frame is the foreground. The top half is divided again by this glass. The height of this main part is about a third of the frame height, which I'd say borrows from the rule of thirds. It's not a conventional shot, but I like the uniqueness. Then I adjusted the angle and took another shot. Now this photo is, I think, the essence of bending the rule of thirds. The general framing does not follow the rule, but this reflection is on the line, the high-vis jacket person is on the last third, and the foreground is bottom half-ish, but it's encroaching into the middle section. It's like using the rule of thirds, except if the lines are very bendy. If you want to watch more about compositions, here's a video on using one trick that improved my compositions. I hope now you can see why some rules are meant to be broken, or at least bent. Thanks for watching.